and welcome to the very first exciting episode on the Multiple Bed Show with your host, Queen Opechi. Today I will be sharing my experience as a multiple birth mom to you out there and why I have decided to run the Multiple Bed Show. I am a mom of 4, but a few years down the line, this was a completely different story. I got married to my husband and we wanted to start a family very quick. But this wasn't happening. We waited a year, we waited 2 years, we waited 3 years. And we went to check if everything was fine. But when we went to the GP, he ran some tests and broke the news to us that I was experiencing what is called advanced polycystic ovary syndrome. Haven't heard of that before. Don't have a clue what that was all about, but in a nutshell, he explained that my ovaries was clustered around with molecules that was preventing it from being fertilized. I was shocked, I was surprised because this was a very, very saddening news for me. But I remember my husband saying to me that, whose reports are we going to believe? We will believe the reports of the Lord. We prayed, we waited, we trusted God. We knew that He was more than able to exceed our expectation. And as God would have it, I took in. I didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't have the sign, wasn't ovulating, wasn't having my period, but I had a sharp pain when I was walking down the street, and I decided to go down to see the GP. And a few tests were run, and I realized that I was 3 months pregnant. And to the glory of God, Samuel was born a few months after that. I was so excited. I took my son Samuel to the GP, and I reminded him when he said I could never bear kids. But he said to me, "You have one now. Nobody's going to say you're barren. Take that and be excited that you're a mom." But my husband quickly cleaned that from my head and said to me, "That's his reports. If you want more kids, God will give it to you." But at that time, I was happy that I had my Samuel. I was excited I've got one. Wasn't desperate. Wasn't looking for anymore. At his own time, I was happy for him to give it to me. But on Samuel's first birthday, someone looked at me and said, "Queen, you look pregnant." I smiled because I said, if only you know what I'm going through. But all the same, I realized a few days down the line, I couldn't wear heels properly. I love my heels. But wearing heels at that time, I felt tired, I felt weak, I felt a bit strange inside of me. And as usual, I went down to check what was happening. And this time around, it was a female doctor. And she said to me, she asked me the first question, "Are you pregnant?" And I said, "No." In my mind, I said, can she not have a look at the system and look at my medical history? But all the same, she was willing to send me to a scan to ascertain if it was ectopic pregnancy or if it was just something before she starts treating anything, or even if I was pregnant. And I went down to North Middlesex Hospital where the sonographer conducted the scan. But this scan took an unusual turn because the scan took a bit longer. He was doing a lot of measuring, he was doing a lot of checking, but he asked me, "How many kids have you got?" And I said, "I have only one." Then he asked me further down the line again, "How many kids have you got?" And I said, "I've got one." And then he broke the news. "Congratulations, you're having triplets." I was surprised. We were shocked. We said, "Triplets? Triplets? Really?" And he said, "Yes, you are having triplets." I didn't know how to react. I didn't know if I need to scream. I didn't know if I need to shout. I didn't know what I needed to do. I looked at my husband. He was shocked to the bone. I busted out laughing. And at that time, I had to be kept a bit longer just to be sure that I was fine to contain the news. It was mind-blowing for me. It was surprising for me because when I went back home, I didn't know what to do. If I needed to cry, if I needed to scream, if I needed to roll on the floor. Because not only was I pregnant with triplets, but I was 4 months gone. 4 months. And I was carrying 3 babies in my womb without even realizing. This was a lady that was told I could never bear kids. Not only did God give me 1, He even broke the medical record and gave me 3 more babies, making them 4. Now my triplets are 5 and Samuel is 6. I have a girl, which is Daniela, and I have 2 boys, Daniel and Emmanuel. I don't know that family that is listening. I don't know who that lady is. I don't know who you are, that you're trusting God for the fruit of the womb, or you're believing that one day that you will bear kids. Just continue to hang on there. Continue to believe. It may have been 5 years, it may have been 10 years, it may have been 15 years or several years down the line, but God did it for me. And on this show, you would hear lots of testimonies from multiple parents that have given up, that thought they could never bear kids, but are now carrying their twins, their triplets, their quadruplets. And you will be encouraged. If you are listening to me and you are a multiple birth mom and you would like to come on this platform and share your testimony, please write me on the address below, email me, call me, and I will be inviting you, because your story might just be touching the life of other women out there. Now on this show, I will be talking to different women. I'll be doing lots of interview. You would learn how to look after yourself before and after pregnancy, just like I do. And also, you will be learning how to look after your multiples, breastfeeding, and all about that. So stay tuned on the Multiple Birth Show and share to other friends. Share and share and keep sharing. I remain your host, Queen.